All right, let's check out some of the harvesting action up here. Now there is the possibility today could be a flop. Hoping for a very profitable day. These things will triple in size by Monday. It's kind of a crapshoot today, trying to do a market on 4th of July. You will not believe this, but I think we're gonna start running into a shortage of tomatoes. For those of you who are curious about the Red Deuce and how they were doing, this is our first case. A lot of little things happening this morning that is stressing me out. If you're older than me and thinking about moving into retirement and doing what I'm doing, you better think twice. It's not easy. It sounds like we had a really good day. Good morning, welcome to Wishwell Farms. My name is Jason. Happy 4th of July. It's gonna be a gorgeous 4th of July weekend here in Ohio. It's 5:30 a.m. and I'm currently awaiting our produce delivery from Schaefer Produce out of Akron, Ohio. I got about 5 skids coming today of melons, sweet corn, and a whole bunch of other goodies. He's normally here by now, so I'm glad it's actually gonna be partial daylight when he arrives so you can see everything that we're getting and how we unload the semi. So it's been since 2014 since the 4th of July has fallen on a Friday. We typically take that day off from selling, but today we are sending out our mobile produce trailer for limited hours. We are going to be there from 8:30 to 2, kind of our Saturday hours. Hey, he finally arrived. He's a little later than normal. It's about 6:15. That's probably due to having to offload a bunch of stuff at every market he stops at. This is Terrence. He drives for Schaefer Produce. Have you had a lot of big unloading to do today?
Yeah, I was fully loaded all the way to the tail today.
Yeah, big orders, I bet, from everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good deal. Well, are you gonna be able to at least enjoy some of the 4th?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right, let's get unloaded. Here's my big load of sweet corn. Is there only one cantaloupe? Alrighty, thanks Terrence. Enjoy the 4th of July.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. All right, I just got everything offloaded. Let's take a quick look at what we got here. 20 green beans, a bin of cantaloupes, and I was supposed to have 2. They had to short me 1 bin. I just texted the owner and he said he had to short 33 customers today. Well, maybe not 33 customers, but he was short 33 bins for his customers. So I was shorted 1. That's not good because that's only 90 cantaloupe and I'm expecting to sell all those today. And I was wanting to have another 90 for tomorrow on Saturday. But it is what it is. I'll put at least 60 on there and maybe save a few for tomorrow. I don't know. Then we got 60 boxes of Southern Ohio sweet corn, some Vidalia onions, 3 boxes of bell peppers, and a bin of seedless watermelon. Whew, it was gonna be a steamy one today. My goodness, that sun is out and it's gonna be close to 90, I think. I got the trailer ready to roll. She's gonna be here shortly. Let me show you what we got on there for today. We'll start here in the back of the truck. I would have loved to have another 30 or 40 cantaloupes back here, but I was short 1 bin, like I mentioned earlier. 4 extra tubs of corn here, 22 boxes of tomatoes. Their extras are underneath the shelf. 18 boxes of corn. There's some starter corn on top. The rest of it's all lined up underneath under the shelf there. 2 boxes worth of green tomatoes, cucumbers, yellow squash, zucchini, bell peppers, green beans, baby red potatoes. Probably getting near the end of Georgia cantaloupe. That's why they had to short so many people. They were getting near the end. So we're ready for Indiana's next week. Seedless watermelon. I got 2 extra tubs under the shelf of seedless watermelon. This is where we dump our corn on this corn shelf. We'll start with 8 boxes and we'll pyramid it up, heap it up really high. We're gonna pile it high and watch it fly. Red onions, Vidalia onions, 4 boxes of peaches. These are the scratch and dent peaches. And she is good to go, hoping for a very profitable day at our satellite location. Now there is the possibility today could be a flop. A lot of times in the past, 4th of July, flopped. But since it's Friday coming into the weekend, I have a feeling it's gonna be pretty good. So I'm willing to take that risk. That's why I've got it loaded up pretty good. All right, let's head down to the field and see how the crew is coming along harvesting cucumbers and zucchini. This is about the minimum size we like to pick on zucchini, kind of a small banana size. There's one Elijah missed that I think I would have picked, especially on a Friday. On Fridays, we will go a little bit smaller in size, especially for short on supply. Plus, it's gonna be almost 90 degrees. These things will triple in size by Monday. All right, let's check out some of the harvesting action up here. See if I can balance these in my hand all the way to the tub. Yeah, see, we're getting some big ones. So this will look like this on Monday, and that's almost too big. I don't mind them looking like that, like a giant banana size, but here's the perfect zucchini right there. At least for us, that sells the best. Whew. Oh, big boy, camouflage. I just noticed that it rained a little bit last night. Not enough to make your shoes muddy, but just enough to wet the ground again and to make things steamy and humid. So they're gonna finish up these 3 rows of zucchini. They'll come back on the yellow squash and then back down again on cucumbers. And by that time, I'm guessing the crew that's picking greenhouse tomatoes will be finishing up, and then I'll have everybody down here to pick the row of pickles. It's nice to have extra hands for picking pickles. Oh, speaking of pickles, I had a couple comments about me calling them pickles, like they're pickling themselves. They're cucumbers, but they're pickling themselves out here in the field, and that's why I'm calling them pickles, you know, kind of a joke. They're actually called pickles in the seed catalogs. Not because they're pickled, that's just what farmers call them. They're pickles. Cucumbers are the traditional dark green, long, larger cucumbers, but they are a different type of cucumber, and we just refer to them as pickles.
Now we gotta work that.
This is a very poor area because of the flooding that we had earlier in the year. You can see the muddy footprints through here. My plastic was actually underwater during one of the recent heavy rains we had. They're looking a little nicer up here. The plants still are not full size or in full production. But after all this heat and sun, I bet it won't be long until they really start cranking them out. We'll get a couple on every plant. You probably saw that I picked the flowers off the ends of the zucchini. Sure is nice just twisting them off instead of trying to cut them. Way quicker. Frees up both hands for harvesting. For the past 15 years, we would cut our zucchini. Probably 20 years. But last year we started just twisting them, and as long as we're careful when we twist them off and maybe grab the stem if they're wanting to snap off of the zucchini, it just makes things go so much quicker. You can use both hands, pick 2 at a time instead of carrying a knife with you. And then the knives get left out here in the field. I've misplaced and lost probably 20 knives over the years. There's a big one Gavin missed. Look at that beauty. He left $1 in the field. Oh, there's a big one. Now this one, I guarantee you, was missed 2 days ago. We can still sell these big ones, no problem. It's just when you have the whole field of large zucchini like this, it takes half as many to fill up the tub, which takes up more space in my cooler. Just a whole bunch of reasons that we don't want them to all be large like that. All right, I'm gonna head up to the barn and start packing trucks for Saturday farmers markets. I'll let you know how these guys do on zucchini and cucumbers and yellow squash and pickles. If I have a chance to come back down to harvest some, I will. But top priority is to get the tomatoes loaded on the box trucks and make sure they are good to go for tomorrow. All right, here she goes. Off to our satellite location. It's kind of a crapshoot today, trying to do a market on 4th of July. I just don't know what to expect, but I'm hopeful. Hoping for a killer day. I'll keep you updated on how it goes. Now it's time to back all these box trucks up to the barn, get them fueled up and loaded with tomatoes. I wanted to show you our other trailer out here. So this is our second mobile produce trailer. The green and white. The reason I have a red and white one is because when I needed a new cover, they didn't offer this color at the time, but they do again. So this one goes to 3 different locations throughout the week, and we're not going to start using it until we have sweet corn. But I just wanted to get it out and get it ready. Originally, I was planning on sending it to our local hometown farmers market just down the road 4 miles called the Logan County Farmers Market. And I wasn't gonna have a whole lot to put on there. You know, it's a grower only market. So I was only gonna be able to put tomatoes, green beans, zucchini, and cucumbers on there. So it wouldn't even be half filled up. So it is nice to have corn and melons. Hopefully next week we can send it out with sweet corn. But regardless if corn is ready or not next week, we will send it out to the Logan County Farmers Market just to get the ball rolling. We also send it to Honda Research and Development Center on Wednesdays, starting next week. Honda is on shutdown for the week right now for 4th of July. And then we also have an opportunity to send it to another location in Marysville. It's called the Dutch Mill Greenhouse. It's on Route 4, just a mile outside of the city limits of Marysville, probably only 4 miles from our other trailer that we send in Marysville. So maybe it'll capture a different crowd traveling on a different side of Marysville. I don't know, but it's worth a try. We're going to do that on Tuesdays and Thursdays once we get corn and see how it goes. All right, let's work on getting these tomatoes out. This is a partial skid of small tomatoes. Another partial skid of smalls and mediums. I'm gonna bring out one more new skid that we have not touched yet, and that's where we're gonna get all of our large tomatoes from. A full skid of 96 cases, and I think at least half of these are jumbos or extra large. This is one of the skids of the 2 skids from that record day that we picked, I don't know, 10 days ago, 7 days ago. It wasn't that long ago. And you will not believe this, but I think we're gonna start running into a shortage of tomatoes in less than 10 days. By next weekend, we are already gonna start running low on tomatoes. We aren't harvesting as many, just like I predicted. They took a huge dive, giving us half as many as they were for the last 2 weeks. And we're selling more and adding more farmers markets. I've mentioned all this in prior videos, but yeah, we are getting caught up on tomatoes. No more auctions, no more wholesale to anybody. And hard to believe that I'm actually gonna have to start buying tomatoes in less than 3 weeks. And then we'll play the waiting game for field tomatoes to come on. And once we get to harvesting those, which isn't really gonna be until almost mid-August, we'll be in good shape again. So I think there's gonna be about 3 weeks there where we'll probably be short on tomatoes every Saturday. I almost forgot the grape tomatoes. And we're starting to get short on supply of grape tomatoes. We'll easily blow through all these this weekend. There's the last of our really red ripe ones. Well, these are pretty good too. And then these are a lot less ripe. This was picked just the day before yesterday, so I probably won't sell those this weekend, but we'll definitely sell these. So I'll load all those up and we'll just put these 3 back in the cooler for next weekend. Just a moment ago, I was talking with the ladies about the grape tomatoes, and they said the harvest was down again. So they're winding down. Let's see, so today's July 4th. I'm thinking we're only gonna pick them for maybe 2 more weeks, if that. Usually once sweet corn comes on, the grape tomatoes become an afterthought because we're starting to get busy with other things like peppers and eggplant and everything we're harvesting out there, and then melons eventually. And the demand for grape tomatoes drops dramatically. Like, it goes down probably 70%. So it actually works out perfect. The demand drops at the same time as the yields drop, and the grape tomatoes just don't handle the summer temperatures that well. So we will call it quits on grape tomatoes here in another week or 2 and move into harvesting new crops. For those of you who are curious about the red deuce and how they were doing, this is our first case from those 2 rows that had the herbicide damage early in the season. Those look really good. That's a nice tomato. And this is the box from today. So some smaller ones coming on, but still some really nice ones in there. All the tomatoes have been divided up onto the lift gates that we hope to sell tomorrow at the farmers markets. At Dublin, I gave them 27. At Powell, they have 21. Clintonville has 27. And our biggest market at the Worthington Farmers Market has 55. Oh, and the grape tomatoes. They have 12 flats of grapes, only 6 here, 3 and 3. All right, I'm gonna get all these tomatoes loaded up into the box trucks, and here in a few minutes, the 3 guys down there picking zucchini and cucumbers and squash and pickles should be coming up. I actually see them driving around right now, loading up all the full tubs. We'll get those sent through the washer and cleaned up and rolled into the cooler, and then hopefully get out of this heat by mid to late morning and enjoy the rest of my 4th of July. How the pickles look today?
It's better. There was less of them for sure.
Yeah. Watch these little ones. Sometimes they get underneath there. Good. And always check under here. Sometimes pickles fall through. They're so little. Sending the cucumbers through. You guys don't have the round table plugged in. There we go. Look pretty nice. Not too dirty. Oh, look who showed up just in time. Joel. Elijah's getting hot with that coat on. Cucumbers are looking good. Still getting some a little bit on the small side, but that's all right. We needed some really bad today, so we picked just a little bit smaller than normal. Looks like just one tub of yellow squash today, but they look really nice. Oh, 2 tubs of yellow squash. There's the other one right there. So 1.5 yellow squash, and it looks like 6 tubs of zucchini. 7, 8 tubs of cucumbers and 1 tub of pickles going up top. Our mobile market trailer just arrived home from our satellite location, and I forgot to film it before I unloaded it. I'll do a quick walk around and talk about how things went and what went well, what went bad. Obviously, you can see I put all this stuff away already. These items went very slow today. We did not sell very many of all the cucumber, squash, beans, and potatoes. Cantaloupes did fairly well. I only got 5 left in there. I think we started with almost 50. Watermelons, so-so. I mean, I did have like 8 more under the shelf, and she was able to put them all out, so not too bad for a short day. It is only 2 p.m., so it was a very shortened day. Onions didn't really move that much. Peaches, we sold about half of them. Tomatoes, we sold about half. And all the sweet corn that I had down there. If you remember, I had 18 boxes on there, 4 dozen per box, and we sold half. So, not the greatest day. It started off really strong. Like when she got there, she could barely get set up. She wasn't able to get the truck unhooked to get our tomato display out or even get all the corn dumped on our corn table. And she texted me, and I sent up one of my other workers that was here helping with tomatoes and helped her get all stocked up. And then as soon as she got there and got stocked up, it slowed down. So if we ever do a 4th of July market again, morning hours is where it's at, not so much in the afternoon. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and reload the watermelons and the tomatoes, and that'll be one less job I got to do tonight before I go to bed. And I will see you all back here bright and early tomorrow morning for Farmers Market Day. First farmers market of the day, heading out to Columbus. This is Worthington with Emma and Nikki. Nikki was supposed to be on the green and white trailer at our hometown Logan County Farmers Market today. One of my employees that lives in Columbus came down with COVID. He was traveling abroad, so we had to shuffle things around a little bit and pulled Nikki from the trailer, and she's going with Emma to Worthington. Just about have things wrapped up for the box trucks. Still got to load the corn on the Powell truck. This is Southern Ohio corn, and Clintonville and Worthington did not have any because they're grower-only markets. So my sweet corn should be ready for next week, but we did not have it for this week. But I can sell neighboring farms' produce and other Ohio produce to supplement my own at Dublin and Powell. So here's the Dublin truck. You know, a third of it is taken up with Joel's freeze-dried candy and maple syrup. We have green beans, sweet corn, cucumbers and zucchini and pickles, and in the back are all the tomatoes. So this one's ready to roll. Oh, salsa. There goes Dublin, my brother Joel, my son Gavin, and actually one of Joel's friends rode along today. So we've had a couple minor emergencies take place this morning already. Gavin just got here. He was 10 minutes late. He slept in. I called him, it went to voicemail. I called my other son, who, because they live together, he didn't answer, but maybe that woke them up because he finally made it. He was 10 minutes late. Thankfully, they're on the road. The other thing that happened is my daughter, Natalie, who's getting ready to jump in this second truck here and go to Clintonville, her friend was gonna go with her today. She's not even awake. They're supposed to leave in like 3 minutes. So I'm still trying to figure out what to do about this. My wife's gonna have to go with her, or I'm gonna have to pull the helper I have at Worthington to go down and help my daughter at Clintonville. And that's gonna make things tougher at Worthington because it's a big green bean day. And then on top of all of this, the major route, I-270, the outer belt of Columbus, the exit is closed for Worthington, Clintonville, and Powell. So they gotta divert and take a different route to get to their farmers markets, and it's gonna slow everybody down at least 5 minutes. So a lot of little things happening this morning that is stressing me out. Whew, man, has it been a whirlwind of a morning with all these issues. But the final truck is finally hitting the road. My daughter just pulled out. My wife had to go with her. I don't think my wife's done a farmer's market in 15 years. So I'm pretty upset that Natalie's friend didn't show up. I'm sure Natalie's upset too, but I think everything's gonna be all right. Fortunately, the detour into Columbus, I-270, the outer belt of Columbus, does not affect Powell. They get off prior to that. All right, time to pack up this trailer. Oh, two quick things I want to mention before I finish packing up this trailer. First of all, stay tuned till the very end. After all the market trucks return home and all the employees leave, I'm going to sit down and let you know what I think the market's brought in today. So if you're curious about how much we make at our farmers markets, I'm not going to give you exact amounts, but I can give you a ballpark idea of how I think we did overall today. And that'll help some of you determine whether what I do is worth it, if you're thinking about doing something similar. And that brings up my next point. I get a lot of comments over the months and years about how this seems like the dream life and that people can't wait till they retire and do something like I'm doing. I'm telling you what, between bugs, diseases, weeds, employee issues, vehicle breakdowns, road closures, I mean, the list goes on and on and on of all the issues I have to deal with. And I'm telling you, it is not an easy life. This is very difficult. A lot of long hours, manual labor, dealing with employees if you're growing or selling at any scale. Oh gosh. If you're thinking about moving into this career at an older age, I'm 51. If you're older than me and thinking about moving into retirement and doing what I'm doing, you better think twice. It's not easy. All right, I am finally finished packing everything. Let me show you what I have on our mobile market trailer for this Saturday, July 5th market. I loaded it very similar to yesterday. There's our box of green tomatoes, homegrown zucchini, yellow squash, and cucumbers. Our peppers aren't ready yet. These are local beans. I didn't have enough of our own. Baby red potatoes. So I'm a little short on cantaloupe. I think there's only like 45 there. 36 watermelon. Red onions, Vidalia onions, 4 boxes of peaches, and 18 boxes of sweet corn, 24 cases of tomatoes. In the back of the truck, just a little bit of extra sweet corn and an empty tub to use for packing up at the end of the day so she doesn't have to put it back in these boxes. It is shaping up to be an absolutely fabulous day. Not a cloud in the sky, and I don't even think there's a 1 mile an hour breeze. So it's a perfect day to go out and get some field work done. I got a little bit of spraying to do and another planting of sweet corn and green beans. Oh, I did want to mention a little bit about this trailer for those of you who may be new to my channel. This is called the Peddler trailer. The kit is manufactured by Rainbow Industries in Springfield, Ohio. I have 2 of them, the red and the white one and the green and white one. This kit, the Peddler kit, can be put on trucks. Well, they have a version for pickup trucks and for flatbed wagons. This is the version for utility trailers. This is just a standard utility trailer. Well, I should say that one is. That's like a 6'2", 16 feet long. This one's extra wide, 6'10", 18 feet long. I build out all the shelving on the trailer. I probably got $500 worth of lumber in there, something like that. I don't even know what utility trailers cost these days. I'm guessing at least $2,000. And the canopy kit for this larger version is about $3,500, and the smaller one is about $3,000 or $3,200, something like that. So for those of you who may be interested in building something out like this for your own operation, you're probably going to have somewhere between $6,000 and $7,000 put into the finished product. It's now 1 p.m., so all of the trucks should be rolling home to the farm from Columbus here in the next few minutes. From the few texts that I received from everybody several hours ago, it sounds like we had a really good day. So I'm gonna film a little bit of the unloading process, and then we'll sit down and have a little chat about how all the markets did today. I think a truck just rolled in. Oh, it's Emma and Nikki. They're the winners today. What that means is that they sold out of almost everything, I hope, because that allows them to pack up quickly and get on the road quickly. So usually whoever gets home first is the market that did the best. I'm predicting Clintonville next, and shortly after them will probably be Powell. And here's Natalie from Clintonville. She said she did pretty good. Joel's salsa feels pretty empty. He sends 2 coolers to Worthington. All right, we got a few boxes of tomatoes and grapes to get unloaded here.
I can't believe I beat you.
garlic in it, right? Just throw that back in the garlic.
I literally said to Nikki when we got on 3:15, I'm like, I never can beat Natalie. It's like impossible. And then I pulled in and I was like,
oh my gosh. That was one of the top 7 worst markets ever in my life.
busy.
Like stressful.
Yours was stressful too?
Smells so good. It's like, I was telling you something.
Are you going to tell your viewers about how stressful this morning was?
I talked about it a little bit earlier.
Alright, Steve.
I'm gonna get comments on the video because say, who's this new guy just standing around doing it? Fire him.
He just walked around the entire time. Yeah, that's all he did. I checked up my other coworkers once in a while.
All right, my 4 box trucks and trailer all made it home safely, and we had a really good day. And I contribute that to 2 things. First of all, we're having absolutely gorgeous weather. It's just a perfect 4th of July weekend for people to come out and shop at farmers markets. And secondly, we had sweet corn and green beans on several of our trucks, and I think that really helped increase sales today. Now, many of you may think that there should be a third reason, and that it is 4th of July weekend. But we have found in the past that 4th of July sales are never that great for us. People's schedules are disrupted. So our regulars may be out of town traveling, and then we have new people in to town that aren't our regulars that don't know who we are. So I just feel like sales are never that great on 4th of July, whatever day of the week it may fall on. So we don't get too excited about 4th of July, but I am happy with how things went today overall. So like I mentioned earlier in the video, I wanted to share with you some numbers about how I think we did today. I know some of you are going to be in disbelief that I'm getting ready to share these numbers, but if you know what I'm growing and what I'm packing in my trucks and what I'm charging for my produce, it's really no mystery. I'm just saving you the time to calculate it out. And there's going to be some of you out there that maybe have large gardens, market gardens or homesteads that are thinking about ramping up your operation to do something similar to what I do. and are really curious about how much you can make at farmers markets. So, you know, I have nothing to hide on my operation. For the most part, I'm an open book, and I want to be transparent about what we do here at Wishwell Farms. All right, without further ado, our number one market, Worthington. We should have done around $3,500. They had green beans, but no sweet corn, so those numbers will continue to rise. But probably not a whole lot, because even though we're going to be throwing in a couple 100 dozen ears of sweet corn in the coming weeks, tomato sales will start to drop. And that's going to be across the board, because we're going to start seeing tomatoes from other growers that have them in high tunnels throughout mid and late July. And then once we get into August, you know, pretty much everyone will have tomatoes that sells produce at the farmers market. So our greenhouse tomatoes that are in really high demand right now will drop significantly, and then it'll kind of bump back up when we start picking our field tomatoes. Our number two market, Clintonville, I'm guessing they did around 2,500. Again, they had no sweet corn. Like Worthington, they are grower only markets, so I had green beans at those markets, which helped boost sales a little bit, but no sweet corn yet. So they did really good. They came home with like 1 or 3 boxes of tomatoes, so they got cleaned out pretty good. Our number 3 market, Dublin, which is where my brother goes with his freeze-dried candy and his maple syrup. Sales were up pretty good there too, due to putting sweet corn on the truck, and they also had green beans. So I'm hoping they did around $2,000. And then our smaller market, which is Powell, they should be real close to that $2,000 mark as well, because I put sweet corn on that truck too, and they did fairly well. They did bring some corn home. I wish I would have put less on their truck and more at the Dublin market, because Dublin sold out and had no corn to sell for the final hour. So I kind of messed that up. But you know, you just never know exactly how to pack the trucks. I can look at my spreadsheets for 20 years back and get a pretty good idea of how to pack them, but you know, every year is slightly different. So I do the best I can at putting the right amounts of corn and beans and other items on each truck, but sometimes you mess it up a little bit. And our smallest market, the Logan County market, which is our hometown market just down the road 4 miles, we did not attend that one today. We will start that one next week. And then the trailer that I'm sitting in right now, I'm guessing they did around $2,500. They had a decent day. So if you add all that up, that should come out to around $12,000. So not too bad of a payday for a busy 4th of July, Saturday farmers market day. Alrighty folks, that's a wrap on today's video. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, and I will see you all again next time down on the farm.